Hello and welcome back to another video on the Wrestling and to another edition of Raw Out 10. It's a big show today because, believe it or not, it is the go-home show before Extreme Rules. And yeah, I have to say, even with like no title match or whatever, Universal title match, the show is looking pretty stacked. And yeah, there seems to be a lot going on the show. So let's get straight into it. And Judgment Day kicked off the show, and Balor talked about Edge's departure from WWE and subsequent return. Balor said that he would be the cruel hand of fate for Edge on Saturday, and he would make Edge say, "I quit." Priest then said he was looking forward to seeing what Balor does to Edge on Saturday before Ripley whispered something in Dom's ear. Dom took the mic and said Ray wasn't his pappy anymore and that he hated him for lying all of his life. Dom added that the Judgment Day was his family now, and Styles and Ray made their entrance before a brawl break out between the two teams, and that led to a tag team match. The match started during the break, and when we came back, we saw Ray take Balor down with a Rana in the senton before Priest was tagged in. Priest took control of the match and got some splashes in the corner before taking the fight outside and dropping Ray on the apron. AJ was about to hit Styles Clash on Priest in the ring, but Damien showed up outside the ring as we headed for a break. Back on Raw, Damien hit a backbreaker leg drop combo with the help of Balor before AJ tried for the tag, but rear dropped Ray on the apron. Ray then confronted Rhea and Dominic at ringside before Ripley took Ray down with a big clothesline. AJ then hit a double DDT in the ring, but took the coup de grace from Balor before going for the 3 count. After the match, AJ blamed Ray for a loss and shoved him before the legend walked off backstage. After Ray was gone, Judgment Day attacked Styles and Priest hit a choke slam to take him out. So yeah, interesting dynamic between Styles and Ray in the series there. Can we see a heel turn coming? But yeah, on the whole, just a really good segment. Enjoying this Judgment Day stuff at the moment. So many questions asked. So yeah, 7 out of 10. Good stuff. Bobby Lashley was then backstage when Ali approached him and challenged him to a US title match, which Lashley agreed before Sammy was joking around with Jimmy and Solo, but Jay came up and was not happy about their antics. The Bloodline walked off together and ran into Street Profits as Solo and Dawkins set up a match later on. Love it. And then it was time for that Lashley-Ali match. Ali rushed in with a kick off the bell, but Lashley dodged it and took him down with a neckbreaker. Ali then returned with a tornado DDT and a drive to the outside before Lashley took him down with an outside and a massive forearm. Back after a break, Lashley hit a front face slam for a near fall before taking to the ropes but missing the suplex. Ali then hit a big dive from the top rope, taking a huge slam in the ring. Ali then kicked out of time, but another massive slam before he was sent into the ring post. Lashley then sent Ali into the timekeeper's area and waited for the 10 count, but the challenger barely beat the count. Lashley then hit the spear and got the hurt lock in for the W. And yeah, on the whole, this gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Really good stuff. Yeah, good, simple win for Lashley, but puts him over. Good to see that Ali back in action as well, in kind of like a high quality match. So yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10 actually, maybe not quite worthy of 7. After the match, Rollins attacked Lashley and hit a stomp, then another 1-2 on the title belt before getting Ali with 1-2 on the floor outside. And it seems like we're getting Lashley Rollins for the belt again next week, which was a great match first time, so looking forward to the rematch. And then yeah, backstage Rollins came out and gave us a sneak peek of the fight pit before calling Riddle out for their face-to-face. Latter said he would kill Rollins on Saturday and mocked Rollins' entrance music. The two resorted to personal attacks, with Rollins speaking about Riddle's family, while Riddle made fun of how Becky was more accomplished than him in WWE. Guest referee Daniel Cormier then showed up on the Titantron and told him to knock off and train for their fight before Rollins walked off. Yeah, loving the Daniel Cormier involvement and can't wait for that match. It's going to be a great match. Before The Miz was prepared for his birthday party when Dexter Lumis crept up behind him. Before it was Dakota Kai versus Candice LeRae. LeRae tried for some early roll-ups before sending Kai outside and tried for a dive, but Dakota dodged it. LeRae then kicked her down on the outside and hit crossbody before heading into the ring. Kai then got some big strikes followed by a scorpion kick, but LeRae took her down with a big boot and unloaded on her. Kai then broke out the submission move before being taken off the top rope. Bayley then took a cheap shot at LeRae while the ref was distracted, and Kai took advantage and rolled LeRae out for the win. And yeah, to be honest, this gets a 5 out of 10 from me. I think they kind of put themselves in the corner in this one. Didn't want to see anyone lose, especially Candice, so soon after returning. So yeah, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. But anyway, Johnny Gargano was backstage and found Miz passed out in the corner. Latter got up and saw a message from Dexter Lumis before running away. Classic good stuff, but Miz does it so well. But anyway, Otis versus Johnny Gargano was up next. Otis got some big clotheslines and took Gargano down the corner, while Austin and Chad thrashed on the latter from the announce desk. Gargano then took a backbreaker but broke it up and sent Otis into the corner. Gargano then hit a dive to the outside and sent Otis Otis into the announcers before wiping out Theory and Gable at ringside. Gable distracts the ref, allowing Theory to hit him with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Otis took advantage of the distraction and pinned Gargano for the victory. Alpha Academy and Theory attacked Gargano after the match and sent him over the announcers before Braun Strowman came out to make the save. I'll review it all in one as we moved on to Gable versus Strowman. The match started right before the break, and when we came back, Otis was sent off from running interference. Gable then got a near fall off a big slam before transitioning into an armbar slam, but it was countered. Gable took Strowman down and hit a splash, but Strowman got up and fastened the Olympic athlete. Braun and hit a huge power slam finisher and picked up the win. And yeah, on all of this, I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. Like, Braun winning easily was the right thing to do, but very surprised Gargano lost. Yeah, would have liked to see him go on a bit of an unbeaten streak, but on the whole, it wasn't bad. It was kind of like a Shinnogan face finish as well. So yeah, on the whole, I'll give it a 6 out of 10, I suppose. But anyway, Bobby Lashley was backstage and said he would make Seth Rollins pay next week before Corey Graves was in the ring to conduct the Women's Championship contract signing for Extreme Rules. Bayley and Bianca made their way out, and the role model made fun of Bianca for taking up her old character of an obnoxiously positive role model. The signatures were made before Bianca started cutting her promo, saying she was better than Bayley. She then said Bayley was playing a character, Bianca was playing a character, but Bianca was being authentic, and if that's true, then Bianca truly believes that she is better than everyone. Before we cut to footage of Kai and Sky beating down Alexa Bliss and Asuka backstage, and Bayley went after Asuka. Bianca then fought her off and headed backstage to make the save, but the heels ran off since the damage was already done. Alexa challenged Io Sky to a match later in the night. And yeah, not bad contract signing. I mean, like, kind of what we've come to expect between the two. And yeah, in general, really hyped up for that match. I think we've been waiting a bit for it since Bayley returned, really. Solo Sikoa versus Angelo Dawkins was up next. Dawkins immediately got a big drop kick, and sent Sikoa out of the ring. Solo was furious and tried to get Steel Chair to beat him down, but Sammy got in his way and stopped him from getting a DQ. Back on Raw after a break, Solo got some big suplexes and a big knee in the corner before Angelo came back with some big moves and got a near fall before Sammy distracted Dawkins and allowed Solo to take Dawkins down, but the ref was also distracted, causing a delay in the count, and it was therefore broken. The Bloodline were then arguing at ringside when Dawkins took them all out with the dive. Back in the ring, Solo got back on control and got the spinning solo before picking up the W. And Jack gets 6 out of 10 from me. I mean, like, it wasn't a classic Bloodline match, but it did its job. Made Solo look like a beast, which I suppose is what they're trying to do with him at the moment. So yeah, it's fine, 6 out of 10. Theory was then backstage with Alpha Academy and made plans to take Gargano out for good before Edge was on the Titantron and said that he was having a family now and that he said was being selfish by still competing in the ring. He said he would do whatever he had to do again on Saturday Extreme Rules, and no one could hurt him enough to say I quit. Before it's time for Alexa Bliss versus Io Sky in the main event. Sky went for an early dropkick right off the bat, and Bliss came back with some strikes of her own. Bliss then took Sky into the corner and hit a dropkick to take control before getting the double knees for a 2 count. Sky then sent Bliss outside with a dropkick before we headed for a break. Back on Raw, Sky got a big boot and a backbreaker before taking a DDT in the twist of Bliss. Belair then attacked Bayley outside and was sent into steel set. Sky got the moonsault in the ring and got the pin. Damage Control beat down Alexa after the match, and Bianca came to the rescue, only to be hit with a ladder. Asuka came out limping with a kendo stick, but she too was taken down and buried under a ladder. The heels stuck Alexa between the two halves of the ladder and slammed into her. Kai got the scorpion kick on Bayley there before Bayley got the rose plant. Bayley and her crew then stood on top of the ladder and posed with the tag titles as the Raw Women's Championship as Raw went off the air. And yeah, good way to end Raw, 7 out of 10. Decent match, of course it was between those two involved. And yeah, Damage Control looking really strong heading into the pay-per-view, and like I keep on saying, I can't wait for that match. Overall, Raw this week gets a 6 out of 10 from me. There's solid Raw and lots of decent storyline going on, especially loving the stuff around the Raw Women's title. But yeah, except for that, there were some interesting booking decisions on the card, I'd have to say. But yeah, some of it hit, some of it didn't hit with me. So yeah, on the whole, created an okay-ish show. So I'll go down there and get a 6 out of 10. But anyway, guys, that's it for the video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, let us know what's coming down below. Follow us in the channel for daily wrestling news and subscribe to my channel. It's greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.